Hello Panda Nation, this is the Panda Photographer from 606studios.com and welcome to the channel. I am sorry, but I gotta do this video once more. This time hopefully the audio is not cracking, but I emphasize ProMovie for your iPhone. So if you have an iPhone 6s, 7, 7 Plus, 8, 8 Plus, or if you have a iPhone 10. Now, this application is for the iPhone. I'm not sure if they have it for Android, and if they do, most of the settings probably do apply. But I want to take a full advantage of my iPhone 6s sensor. And wait, before you guys start commenting and asking me this one question, how do you feel about Apple throttling your iPhone 6s? I think it was a terrible move. I think they should have disclosed this to the consumers. And I did notice some of throttling when using some of the applications. I had to reboot my phone and start from scratch. And now my iPhone 6s is working fine. But Apple has come out and stated that they will replace the batteries for $29 instead of the $50 price tag. But I really truly believe that Apple really is playing themselves here when it comes down to quality. But with that said, guys, if you're new to this channel, please do subscribe to the channel. Please share this content if it's very informative. And I'm going to tell you right now, when I get into a certain settings menu, the audio is going to cut off, so I'm going to explain before I get into that settings menu. But please do like the comment, share this video, and please visit me on the social media links down in the descriptions below. And if this video has been very informative and you decide to go with ProMovie at the price tag of $2.99, please hit that PayPal donation button. It really helps me out as a content creator and a photographer. So with that said, let's get into this. And as a photographer, I need to utilize all of my tools as much as possible. And I really don't like the iPhone's camera feature on the iPhone. It doesn't give me control over the shutter speed, ISO, white balance, focus, or zoom, or exposure. Yes, this is a 2.2 sensor, but I can take a full advantage of my entirely sensor, and it's all it is settings and video quality and audio quality, by the way. So with that said, now you see this display. Now you see the black bars. The black bars is something optional that you can select in the settings, or in the left hand top corner you can see where I'm going to press the top hand corner really quickly. Now everything has disappeared. You see the volume for a second, then it's going to disappear. Now I press it twice more, I get a transparent bar, and you can see all the settings, shutter speed, the 1080p 120 frames per second, the play button, the record button, and so forth. Now you guys are probably wondering, how did you change the colors of your 3x3 grid and your levels? And I'm going to get to that in a second, but I really want to show you some of these cool features that this app has to offer. So let's get into this. So we're going to get into the settings here, and as you can see, I'm going to select the camera, and right now I am using the back sensor, which is shooting in 1080p 120 frames per second. I can shoot in 4K because the iPhone 6s is able to shoot in 4K. Now I can select the selfie, and you can see me selfie. And now if I go back into the menu and select the back camera, you can see that I am back into my normal state by facing the library here in San Jose, California. So the next menu is the stabilization. This app does have stabilization, and I mind you that if you are using a gimbal, you must not leave this feature on. So if you're normally using a tripod, please turn this on. But if you're using the gimbal, turn it off. And the reason why is you're going to have some jello effect. But not only that, I want you to pay attention to the display. So I'm going to show you what it's going to do. Hold on one second. Now pay attention. You see how it actually decrop itself? Now pay attention once more. And you see how it's slightly cropped just a bit? So that is the stabilization trying to work within the app. It does work very well if you know how to use glide cams 2000 and so forth, and tripods. You know how to work a tripod instead of your shot. But using the gimbal, I do not recommend leaving this feature on. So the next menu is the Thunderbolt that looks like a flash icon. That is your back sensor's flash. You can use it as a spotlight if you choose to, but I digress. The screen display, you guys know what this is. Brightening, darkening, so forth. Now the overlay. Now you can see that I selected the level 16:9 ratio that I'm shooting by, and I'm using the grid, which is 3:3. Now the next feature is transform. Transform is something that you may not use. I personally don't want to use it, but at some point I might use it for maybe a cinematic look. I don't know. I might use it to maybe fool my audience and dig it into different locations. But you can flip the screen backwards, rotate it upside down, and flip it once more upside down but rotate it the opposite way, and you can put it back to normal. But Anamorphic, listen and pay attention. Anamorphic is a feature used with anamorphic lenses. Yes, they do make anamorphic lenses for the iPhone, and make sure that you pick the right anamorphic professional lenses for your iPhone, because there's some anamorphic lenses on Amazon that are full of shit, and I really don't like the cheap anamorphic lenses. Anamorphic lenses and this anamorphic feature gives your cinematography and your documentary films a special look to the film, so keep that in mind. So before I get into the settings, I'm going to tell you right now, guys, in the settings, I'm going to show you what you can change. You can change the colors of the grid, you can change the colors of the level, you can also choose aspect ratios all the way from 1:1 all the way down to 2:55. So it gives you so many options when selecting aspect ratios when you're doing your cinematography work. So for you cinematographers out there, it's a lot going on in this application. It has a lot to offer. I definitely recommend it. So the microphone is going to go on mute, and I'm going to show you the settings. Alright, so you saw the settings. It gives you a flexibility as a filmmaker to choose different aspect ratios. Now, in that last part, when I declicked the start and stop button lock, that is for the record. Now, when you first get this application and download the application to your iPhone, you're going to witness that you're going to have to press the record button to start the recording for 3 seconds. And that could be a little bit of troublesome for some of you. But I clicked it off, and it should be declicked or disabled at default, but it is on at default. I do not know why the developers decided to go ahead and enable this feature, because it took me about a week to figure it out how to turn that off, because if I'm using a gimbal and I want to quickly stop the recording, I have to literally hold down the record button for 3 seconds, and that was a little bit of troublesome. But other than that, it's a fine application. It works really well with your iPhone. I definitely recommend it, and that's the pen for photographer. I do want you guys to subscribe to this content. I do want you guys to hang in there and hit the notification button and support the channel, that I try to give you guys all types of educational things about my photography, my videography, tech reviews, product reviews, software reviews, and this is one of the software reviews that I really want to share with you guys in the last 6 months using it. So I definitely recommend it. But with that said, we're gonna go into the video quality settings, and this is the fun part. You guys are gonna love this, because this video quality setting is going to eliminate all the headaches by not going into the iPhone's default camera settings to shoot in slow-mo or in 4K, and going into the settings. All the settings and features are in this one location, so you do not have to go in and out of your phone to emphasize to use 720p 240 frames a second to get some slow-mo if you're into that kind of thing. But let's get into the video quality settings. So I am shooting at 1080p 120 frames a second at max megabits per second at 100. Now I can shoot all the way down to 720p, at 240 frames a second, 100 megabits per second at max, and slow mode. Now, this is the best part about this application, because some applications you have to go in and out to activate and disable this, and then go in here and select the slow mo, like in the iPhone settings. Well, this app gives you that flexibility, so it relieves you of all the headaches that you don't want in an application. So this is what you want in an application. So 720p 120p frames per second. You can shoot in 1080p 120 frames per second and high. If you want to shoot in 24 frames per second, I definitely recommend higher at 40 megabits per second if you're looking for that cinematography and film look. And if you're shooting in 30 frames per second, I definitely recommend shooting at the max, or 50, 60, and so forth. And, 1440, you have the option to shoot to 24, 25, and 30 frame rate. Now, I do recommend, if you're going to shoot in 1440 24 frames per second, I definitely do recommend higher at 52 megabits per second to order to get that cinematography look that you're looking for. That also applies to 3K and 4K. Actually, in 4K, I like to go high, because the 4K, it gives me that 75 megabits per second quality rates for that film look that I'm looking for at 3840 by 2160. So you have options here. Now, as you can see, that I'm shooting in 16 by 9, but that will change once you go back into the settings that I previously showed you and select the aspect ratio that you choose and that you like. And I'm outside here trying to record this once more, but I'm gonna go back in 1080p 20 frames per second max, and hit that check button each time you change the settings. You gotta hit that check button, and booyah. Okay, so it's trying to focus. Great. Now here's the cool part about the audio. So if you have built-in if you have a lavalier microphone, or the iPhone headphones with the built-in microphone, which sounds great, or if you want to use shotgun microphones, but make sure that if you're going to use a shotgun microphone, make sure that you have a iPhone cable. Now 7, 8, and 10, you're going to have to use dongles. I'm sorry, that is the way it is. With my iPhone 6s, I'm still using the 3.5 headphone jack, but with the iPhone 7, 8, and 10, you're going to have to use the dongles. Make sure that you have a dongle that is certified to use, like for instance, the Rode Link Go little small microphone shotgun. that works really well for cinematographers. So make sure you get the right cable to adapt to that, or buy the Rogue adapter cable for that, or you're going to have to buy the dongle, as I said. But in the audio quality, you can see where I'm shooting the iPhone microphone, and I'm not choosing the headset, because if I choose the headset, that's when you're going to hear a lot of audio quality, because I am using a capture application. And yesterday when I uploaded this video, you hear a lot of cracking noise because the capture application was kind of trying to compensate for its own audio, which was terrible bad. But you can control by selecting the headset microphone, and you can control the gain. So you just heard what happened to the audio. But you can control the gain. That's a big plus because you can turn down. It is 9:30. Okay, you can. I'm sorry about that. But you can control the gain on shotgun microphones. You can turn down the volume so it doesn't peak as much. You can choose sample rates from 44.1 kilohertz to 48 kilohertz. You can choose the audio format from AAC to PCM. It's based on optional, but when you do select the headset microphone, you have it plugged in, make sure that you are going to use the audio gain to make sure that your shotgun microphone is not peaking at a certain level, and just select, and you can see the audio indicator on the top of the screen there. You can hear my audio. My audio is pretty damn good right now. But with that said, now I'm going to show you a cool feature, and I'm going to show you how to control shutter, ISO, white balance, focus, and zoom. Now, normally I don't use the zoom, but you can manually control the shutter speed. Say if I want the shutter speed to be 800. ISO, I want it to 23. In white balance, I want it warmer at 55. Now, in my focus, I can defocus, focus, as you can see, focus. But I feel like this should be about right there. And when you use that, you can see at the bottom of each of those settings, it's highlighted in red, underlighted in red. That means you locked it in, and you can see it in the center of my grid and your center of your screen. You can see that it is locked in. So all you pandas out there that are looking to utilize the ProMovie application for your iPhone, it works really well. Now I'm going to stress this enough. If you change the exposure by selecting the exposure onto the left side of the shutter, you will reset the shutter, ISO, white balance, and focus. So I'm going to demonstrate that right now. And you can see the shutter, ISO, white balance has changed. So, because I changed the exposure, as you can see. But I'm going to leave the exposure down by 1/3. So it's exposed correctly. So with that said, everyone, please, if this has been very informative so far, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button, and support the links down in the description below. It really helps me out as a photographer and a freelance, houseless, independent filmmaker, and I try to do my best as much as possible. But I do want to stress this enough. I'm going to press the record button. When I am recording, and when I do start the recording, right, on the bottom left hand, you're going to see that play icon. You're going to go into that setting, and I'm going to tell you before the microphone cuts off that when you are in the setting, it's going to give you options. Now, it saves the data onto the app. Keep in mind, it does take storage from your iPhone, but it's not on your iPhone. You have to extract that data and export that clip to your iPhone's photo album. So I'm going to show how that works. You're going to hit select, then you're going to choose the clip. It's going to give you a check bar on the right hand side. Then on the bottom left hand corner, you're going to see a little download icon. You're going to hit download. Then it's going to go to your iPhone folder, and then you can extract the iPhone footage to your PC or your Mac. So and then you're done. So that's the options you have with ProMovie. ProMovie gives you that flexibility, but keep in mind, if you're done with the clip and now you have exported to your computer, must delete the clip because it eats up a lot of storage. Now I'm using a 64 gigabyte iPhone 6s, so I do have enough storage, but still, more storage is better storage. So with that said, this is the Panda Photographer from 646studios.com, and this has been a tutorial and walkthrough and my final review on ProMovie. I've been using it for 6 months now. It's been a very useful tool. I think it's great to have full control over your sensor on your iPhone, but I assure you that for $2.99, this is all the features you're going to get, and I think it's a very good price range. Other apps are very expensive. Now, I am going to say this enough. Too bad you're not able to use Lux. There's other applications there that you can use Lux that costs a lot more than this app, but you can always add Lux in post-production when you are editing your clips or your footage. So if you are going to absolutely use this for YouTube content and do B-rolls, it's great for that. But the downside for that is that if I do like to do B-rolls, I like to mute my audio so I don't have to worry about the audio. And this application doesn't give you that flexibility to mute the audio, which is unfortunate. So to the developers for ProMovie, please do give us the options in the next update to mute audio so I can feel more relaxed when doing B-rolls in the area. And sometimes I do want to use the audio in the B-roll, but I just want to have that flexibility. But with that said, this application does eat up a lot of battery, just to let you guys know that, because it's actually taking full advantage of your processing power, the sensor, and the hard drive, and all the features and all the RAM that's in your iPhone. So keep that in. Remember that. That's all I have to say. But with that said, please do subscribe, please hit the notification button, please do support the channel by sharing, and follow me on Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, Mixi, Facebook, and that's pretty much it, guys. So eat, sleep, photography with videography, and repeat. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, happy shooting. And if you guys are wondering what app am I using to record the caption on my iPhone, I'm using what is it called? I'm actually using two. I'm using TechSmith capture, and I'm using DU capture for YouTube. I found that one to be a little funky, but therefore you guys already know. And I will see you, Panda Nation, in the next video.